Good morning. My name is Kathy McNichols. My pronouns are she, her, and I will be your worship associate this morning. We are delighted that you are here with us today. Whether online or here in person, it's great to be with you. No matter how you look or who you love, we are glad you are here. Even if you think humans will never die because Jesus is coming soon, we appreciate you. We have an abundance of love and compassion here. We are happy to share that with you. This morning, we will be discussing the end of the world. Many people are concerned that we are on a fast track to extinction. We're going to talk about 4 ways that might happen in the not-so-distant future. I hope you will join in the conversation. As David lights our chalice, consider this land acknowledgement. This land is not ours. It belongs to the earth, which cannot truly be bought or sold, but only shared. We are stewards, and we acknowledge that those who came before, the native peoples who revered this land as sacred, the enslaved peoples who consecrated this land with their blood and tears, the living creatures with whom we share this space. May we never take for granted all that have been given to us, all those whose lives touch this land, and all whom this land continues to nurture. You can come to our Joys and Concerns table over here to my right and light a candle or drop a pebble at any time during our service today for your joys and concerns. I, however, as the worship associate, am going to use the power of the mic this morning to announce a great joy that my husband Bob and I have. Our daughter Caroline, whom many of you know, because she started here when she was 3. She and her husband Connor are going to have a baby in October. Woo! Very excited. Very excited. The handbells are going to come and play a song for us. So I invite you to sit back, relax, and open your heart. Thanks again for coming.
Whoa, the bells are magical, aren't they? Something incredible about them. All right, so we are talking about a very happy topic today. The extinction of humanity. And who knows? Maybe that would be the best thing that could ever happen. Who knows? But let's talk about some of this stuff. So we're going to talk about 4 ways that scientists today are concerned that things could go south, or maybe are going south, really badly. So let's just talk about some of those and what that means to us, how we should respond as viewers and as human beings, and to make sense of this and not live a life of fear. All right, so the number 1, right up there, my favorite, extinction by AI. We got the microphones, right? It's microphone time. Here they come. Microphones. Who can tell me, what is AI? That's an easy one, right? Everybody knows what AI is.
We saw it all last night on Mission Impossible Retribution.
Ah.
AI almost destroyed the world, except for Tom Hanks. Not Tom Hanks.
Tom Cruise, whatever. Yeah, there's an awful lot of movies going around. Pat Ritchie pointed me toward a documentary on Prime. It's called AI Docs, which stands for documentary, and it's about how AI, that person gathered, 8 different scientists and people who are studying this to talk about the good and the bad and the ugly with AI. So if you haven't seen that, I recommend that. But what else? So who can define AI? Okay, over here. She's coming.
Artificial intelligence.
Okay, that's what AI stands for. Who can define it? How do we know if we're talking about AI? I mean, is Google Maps AI? Is your Alexa AI? Is Google Translator AI?
Well, I think...
Is the Google search engine AI? Is email AI? Over here. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Our college student, she's going to clear it up for us.
Well, I think part of the issue is that it's just difficult to define because of how many things we have that could be considered AI. And
Yes.
also because of marketing, right? Because AI sounds cool.
Yeah.
And so a lot of companies are just putting it on their product to make
Right.
it sound right, like interesting. But there are multiple definitions, right? So one idea is the idea of machine learning, which is just the idea that, if you have a bunch of data and you give it to a program, it can learn to associate things and
Yeah.
eventually make new things.
Yeah.
And that's where we get stuff like AI art generators or like
Right.
AI image generators.
Yeah.
Or that can also be applied to text, right? So that's where we get the idea of the AI chatbot or
Right.
ChatGPT,
Right.
which is taking language input and then giving language output. Similar with Google Translate.
Yeah.
But then there's also the idea of the Turing test, which is the idea that if you were texting with an artificial intelligence program, could it trick you into thinking that it was a human? And that's sort of been the benchmark for true AI for a while. Now that has been met.
Yeah.
But now there's also the idea of general artificial intelligence, or AGI,
Right.
which is something that's not only talks exactly like a human, but thinks exactly like a human.
Right.
And that's where we get the idea of the androids in science fiction that not only can speak like a human, can think like a human, can be creative
Yeah.
like a human to an extent.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. I think in a strict definition, you hit on it, a strict definition of AI is a computer system or systems that learns. That's kind of the big umbrella thing we're talking about, and how much it learns, how it learns, why it learns, those all become really critical points. Over here somewhere.
Well, really, you covered a lot of it.
Yeah.
I was going to say, from what I've read, there's always been wars in the academia about what AI is. You know, some people use it for a human-like intelligence. Some people look at for a superhuman intelligence.
Yeah.
You know, and there's, you know, the marketing and stuff. What are you looking for at this point? You mentioned the Turing test. I think that's almost moot now because people have been fooled by current technology into not knowing if it's human or not, and it's still not full flesh for being a human or that.
Yeah.
You know, it's associative intelligence.
Yeah, yeah. So the big problem, the thing that everybody's working on, is called the alignment problem. Anybody know what that is? The alignment problem? This is, how can we make sure that whatever we create, since it's learning itself, how do we ensure it will always do what we intended it to do? And we're already breaking that in just current stuff, and we haven't got to, you know, general intelligence yet. That's going to be a whole nother thing. So if the computer can learn, teach itself, how do we keep it from going off the rails or deciding they don't need us anymore, right? All right, a couple more, and then I got one last question for this. All the way over against the wall.
Oh, what a surprise. There was a painting outside, and I liked the look of it, but I wasn't quite sure. So I took a picture using 50 megapixels, and then I was able to see that it was AI made, even though the artist said that she had painted it herself.
Yeah.
And the alignment between what is good for humanity and what is good for whatever comes after us.
Yeah.
I definitely think we're going to lose that race, and that's just the way life. We all die. Every species that has come has died, and we will also die.
Yeah. So I don't want to be all negative. So let's think about for a moment the positive. So we've been talking about, can we survive AI? Another really important question is, can we survive without it? I mean, the potential, well, the potential of good is astounding. I mean, fixing climate change, medicine, you know, coming up with cures, deadly diseases that we haven't been able to fix yet. So there is potential there, and that's what's driving a lot of this. Of course, profit is driving it all, but you know, that's part of it. So can we live without it? Or is there something good here that we need to save? Who wants to talk to that?
Sort of a question. So I think the biggest part of what AI is for me is that it is computer software, and that there's folks who write that program and who control that program, and there's folks who throw money at it in hopes that it can do the things they want it to do. And the question is, whose motivations are we going to follow? Because let's say, like you mentioned, it can develop a cure for a disease. Okay, does that mean that the AI company or the person who paid for the subscription would have the patent on that medicine?
Yes.
And they would still limit access because of that patent. So does that get us to where we need to go, or is this a different flavor of the kind of tool that we have been seeing since the Industrial Revolution that's leveraged towards the uses of the powerful for their purposes, or is it something that we can democratize? And as I sit here, I'm not sure that it can be.
Yeah. We're going to move on because we've got a lot of pandemics to come, right? All right? But hold that thought. We're going to keep talking about this.
Okay, everybody hold on.
You are welcome to sing along. Any part of this that you know.
The whole thing if you want to.
That's great. It starts with an earthquake.
Birds and snakes and aeroplanes.
And Lenny Bruce is not afraid.
eye of a hurricane, listen to yourself churn.
World serves its own needs, don't misserve your own needs.
Speed it up a notch, speed, grunt, no strength.
The ladder starts to clatter with the fear of height down height.
Wire in a fire representing 7 games.
In the government for hire and a combat site.
Lefter wasn't coming in a hurry with a furry's breathing down your neck.
Team by team reporters baffle Trump tethered cropped.
Look at that low plane, fine, then.
Oh no, overflow, population common ground.
It'll do, save yourself, serve yourself.
The world serves its own needs, listen to your heart bleed.
Tell him with the rapture and the 3 rent out night.
You vitriolic, patriotic, slam, fight, bright, light.
Pretty psyched.
It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. And I feel fine. 6 o'clock TV hour, don't get caught in foreign power.
Slash and burn, return, listen to yourself churn.
Lock 'em in a uniform, book burning, bloodletting.
Every motor catalate, automotive incinerate.
Light a candle, light a totem, step down, step down.
Watch your heel crush, crush, uh-oh, this means
No fear, cavalier, renegade and steering clear.
tournament, a tournament, a tournament of lies.
Offer me solutions, offer me alternatives.
I decline.
It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it.
And I feel fine.
How you feeling? I feel fine.
We're not done yet.
The other night I drifted nice continental subdivide.
Mountain sit in a line, Leonard Bernstein.
Leonard Brezhnev, Lenny Bruce and Lester Banks.
Birthday party, cheesecake, jelly beans, boom.
You symbiotic, patriotic slam butt neck, right?
Right.
It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. And I feel fine. Let's do that one more time. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. And I feel fine. I feel fine. Yes. All right. And believe it or not, I'm hoping by the end of this service, you'll feel fine too. About all these things that we're talking about. Not that they're not serious, but I think there is a way for us to find our peace in all this. All right, number 2. Oh, before we do, RE begins. We don't want to scare the kids too much. They're studying the Baha'i faith this month, so any child-aged, school-aged human being that would like to go to RE, we got something for you. Okay, number 2. Pandemic. Man-made, nature-made, doesn't really matter. Are you afraid of a pandemic? Do you think this is a valid thing that we should be working on? What did we learn from COVID that we need to remember for the next one? Who wants to talk? Nobody wants to talk about pandemics. Okay, we got one. Oh, mics over here. Can somebody help us with mics? We just need to keep the mics out. We're going to be talking all service. All right. We got all the way over here. And down here, Ed.
Is this on?
Oh, yes.
Oh, I'm Paula, and I want to say, what? Ed? After, okay. We got through it. That's what I want to say.
Yes,
We got through it.
we did. Somebody over here. And Ed down front. Karen.
I think one of the things that we learned.
There we go. Keep it close.
one of the things that we learned is that it really helps to already have. I'm trying to speak pretty loud, but
There we go.
There we
There we go.
Okay, thank you. Sorry. I think one of the things that we learned is that it really helps to have a strong scientific capacity to do massive testing of what's going on and to be able to find the darn cure as fast as possible.
Yeah. Ed?
I think one of the things we learned is that people don't believe in science. And that is the scariest thing. That's what's going to cause extinction, is a lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
I wrote 2 white papers on H5N1 in 2004 and 2005. And my predictions didn't come true. But what I like to tell people is 300 dead elephant seals on the coast of California can't be wrong. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
We need to be ready for it, which we are not doing.
Yeah.
And what can I say?
Yeah. Is there somebody else? All the way in the back? In the back? Right under the TV?
You don't know me, but I'm from the Philadelphia area, and when the pandemic hit, I said, oh no, here I go again, because I lived through the AIDS epidemic.
Yes.
And so I learned from that, and I said, I'm going to be strong. I did my research, and I think that if we have a collective mind and a positive spirit, we can get through anything together.
Yeah. So just like with the AI phenomena, we have some good things happening here too, especially if we're thinking about man-made pandemics. That research, that attempt to create something new, there's a great value in that, is there not? I mean, think about the medicines that have just come out in the last 5 years that are changing everything. Well, it's because somebody was tinkering with nature. So we've been talking about, can we live through another pandemic? Here's a question: can we live without one? If we dropped all the science, dropped everybody from creating anything that doesn't exist right now, can we live that way? Who wants to talk about that? Okay, Patrick?
Well, I'm not sure that we have to have a pandemic for scientific research and development.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, it kind of sped it up in that one particular field, but there's, things like the massive improvements in cancer care and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I suppose you could say cancer is a pandemic, but, it's just sort of general background sickness, and that prompts it. But as Ed says, we need science. We don't need crazy people with crazy ideas dismissing science.
Yeah.
So we need to remain rational.
Okay.
And that's probably our biggest threat to our existence.
Hear, hear. Hear, hear. All right, Catherine's going to come and play for us now.
Now that I've worn out the world, I'm on my knees in fascination, looking through the night, and the moon's never seen me before, but I'm reflecting light. I rode the pain down, got off and looked up, looked into your eyes, the lost open windows all around my dark heart lit up the skies. Now that I've worn out the world, I'm on my knees in fascination, give up the ground under your feet. Hold on to nothing for good. Turn and run at the mean times, chasing you. Stand alone and misunderstood. Now that I've worn out the world. I'm on my knees in fascination, looking through the night, and the moon's never seen me before, but I'm reflecting light.
All right, pandemic number 3, nuclear war. Nuclear war. Some people think we're closer than ever. Some people say, I don't know that we're any closer than we were 10 years ago. I don't know. Right? What do you think about nuclear war? Back in the 50s, wasn't it? We had all the school drills and all that stuff. But that's long gone. What do you think? Are we in imminent danger from nuclear war? Who wants to talk? Okay.
Hi. I don't have anything intelligent to say. I'm just extremely emotional about all of these topics because of who is in charge of our country.
Yeah.
And that your comment that we're closer than ever, I think is true because science is being decimated and level heads and everything that we've learned about military engagement and diplomatic relations, I feel are not being used. And so I guess the only thing I can say is please vote when it's time.
Nice. Carmela?
So I have both hope and fear, and it's the combination of AI and nuclear war. So my hope and positive thought is that Anthropic said, no, you cannot use our AI for the military because they do all this modeling of war games. And it kept saying, hey, we want to win, pull out the nukes, pull out the nukes.
Yeah.
And they said, no, you can't use them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Look over here and then in the back. Okay, thank you.
Hi. So is it working?
Real close.
Okay, so for me, same, our current leader, and then also just a lot of the world leaders right now, with nuclear arms, we used to have this concept of MAD, right? Mutually assured destruction, which kept us in check. And I don't feel like any of these people have that. They're just like, want to see the end of the world. Like, what's the quote from Batman where he says, some men just want to see the world burn? And I feel like we have a lot of those in power right now.
Yeah.
And that is terrifying. Like, it's about, I think, some of the people that are in power right now are more worried about leaving a legacy of destruction and death in their wake. And I know this is really uncomfortable to hear, but like that's where I'm at, and it's really scary because when you learn about like conflict resolution and thinking about MAD and all of these things, it's like all of those things that kept us in check, no one's keeping that accountability anymore, and that's a terrifying concept.
Yep. Okay. Back here in the back. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some fear for me, right? But I think underlying that, there's a sense that there are, an overall sense of hope, because I think there are still too many steps in the chain that at some point, like, human nature will prevail, right? Because, I mean, let's hope, but Do y'all know that story about the Soviet submarine that had its radar like went dark and errors started popping up and they thought they were under nuclear attack, and were given orders to fire their nuclear missiles at the U.S. and decided to stand down. And then, it turned out nothing happened. So if it hadn't been for the people on that submarine who, disobeyed orders, we'd all be dead, right?
Yep.
So I think that, even if this does happen, I think there are going to be people who say, no, we're not going to do that. And so I think we can count on that, hopefully.
May you be a prophet. All right, a couple more in the back here.
I'd just like to say something positive. So my daughter and son-in-law both work for Los Alamos National Lab. And, I quiz them a lot, and we have some jokes, but actually my son-in-law is super inspired because they're working really hard on new cures for cancer.
Yes.
And it involves radiation.
Yes.
And it is amazing what he has shared with us. Also, they're working really hard to use spent uranium to power.
Yeah.
And so not everything is doom and gloom, so I'm kind of with Sam.
Yeah.
And then I also take hope, this is not going to be a positive idea, that if we do destroy ourselves, the planet will go on.
Yes.
And life will continue
Yeah.
again. And
Yeah.
so I just take hope in that, I guess, which
Yeah.
doesn't sound hopeful, but.
Yeah. Oftentimes when we think or say, oh, it's going to be the end of the world, well, no. It might be the end of us, but it's not the end of the world. We think we're the only thing that matters, but it's not true. All right, I'm going to flip it on its head. Can we live without nuclear, without the cancer treatments, without the power that's not carbon-based, right? Can we live without nuclear? Who wants to talk about that? Last couple minutes. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can always say, I'm going back to the next question. That's fine.
I just wanted to say that for me, whether nuclear war happens or not, it's not something I know how to control. And if a nuke was going to hit near me and wipe me out, I'm okay with that death.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, one more.
I guess I want to say, I think nuclear has a lot of potential. It's, of course, very dangerous and requires a lot of like safety procedures and like kind of think of like the environment over to do it. But I say it's a tool. And I guess as I was told in the Navy, there's tools and uses. And if you use the tool well, it does well. If you don't use the tool well, you or someone else will get the consequences of that. So
Yeah.
that's potential.
Yeah. Okay. Eric's going to come for us, and he's going to play in just a second. We're going to do a share the plate offering, which I know is a little awkward with all the tables, but do your best. This month, our share the plate is going to the Minister's Discretionary Fund. So that's a fund that I oversee so that I can help church members who are struggling. Okay? So a great example is Megan Nolan. She had a mastectomy on Friday. And so she's having to step down from her brand new job. And her husband is, struggling to be a reseller. So they're just having all kinds of problems. And so this fund has allowed us to support them, right? And there's others. Sheila Clark recently had her leg amputated. And she's in rehab right now. She's doing well, good spirits. But it's that kind of thing. When people within our fellowship are hurting or needing something, this is the fund we turn to help. And you guys are always very generous with that. I encourage you to keep being generous because there's lots of needs out there. So the ushers are going to pass around the baskets. Everything you put in the basket is going to the Minister Discretionary Fund. All right? Eric, play for us. All right, number 4, extinction by climate change. Who wants to jump in on that one? What are you thinking about that? Is there hope? Can we fix this with AI or without? What do you think? Okay, over here.
I tend to think a lot of these, in fact, won't be complete extinction, but it'll be a severe impact. And, you know, climate change may be, you know, not one like AI where it's nearly total, but it'll, you know, it'll make life incredibly difficult. You know, we're talking about like they're talking about the Atlantic Meridian Current. I think I have the acronym wrong. I'm paraphrasing, but the stream that keeps basically England warm and all that. I mean, there was a film called, I believe, The Day After. That, you know, it was very extreme, you know, and it could make parts of the world unlivable, and it will cause, therefore, war and all sorts of other changes. And how can you prepare for that? Well, we have time, and you know, there's also solutions such as geoengineering that could possibly work or make things worse. Who knows?
Yeah. I read a report that the industries that deal in fossil fuels are promoting the idea that there's nothing that you can do about it. So don't even try, because it's just too big, it's too complicated, right? I think, and then I'll come back to you.
So as I've been listening to all these, or seeing these slides, my anxiety has just been ratcheting up.
Hang in there, we're not done.
And so I'm just having to remind myself that, you know, every day since I've been alive, there's been bad news. Every single day there's been something terrible that's happened.
Yes.
And I think the only way to get through it is together with the community.
We're better.
And together and by doing something. If you're sitting at home Facebooking, you're not going to feel better.
Yeah.
So those are my 2 responses.
Good. All right.
So I'm going to tie this into the last one as well. I have a complicated view on a couple of these. So I was actually a responder to the Fukushima Daiichi disaster in 2011 in Japan. And what I've seen coming out of that is, just as the nuclear issue is serious and can cause a lot of devastation, I've also seen the communities come together and absolutely help each other out when it's dire. Unfortunately, sometimes it takes the situation becoming dire to actually make people work together.
Yeah. Yeah. Back over here.
Okay. So yesterday, for the first time, our congregation had a booth at Earth Day. And one of the things that, is Vashti here today? She pointed out to me, maybe we should have something that talks about what our congregation does. And we came up with 2 things, and that doesn't mean there aren't more, so I'm looking for input on this at a different time. But the fact that we used the goats to clear out, which was really cool. Yeah. And also that, where's Kit? That we have this incredible state-of-the-art filtration system that we invested a lot of money in that manages our water. But next year, my goal would be for us to also have some other bullet points that we can put down that says our congregation adopted an area and helped improve it. Or I'm looking for suggestions on activities that we as a congregation can do. You know, speaking of, don't sit at home on Facebook. Let's go out and make a difference in the climate.
Here. Yes. Elaine.
John, the UUFF has participated in the past in the Green Sanctuary program, but we lost our leadership, so you sound like the perfect leader for that.
Hate it when that happens.
But I wanted to mention my concern about dropping bombs all over the place and what that does for our climate.
Yeah.
It distresses me every day to see what's going on in the Middle East. And of course, knowing that we do not have good leadership that knows anything at all about diplomacy.
Yeah. Let me flip this one around again. I know climate change is not just about the use of fossil fuels, but can we live without fossil fuels in today's world? Yeah? You realize all the things that we use that are supported by fossil fuels. Yes? Where's the microphone? Over here. Yeah.
There's a song that applies to all of this, and I think you really have to think about it, and it is, say goodbye to the world you thought you lived in.
Ah.
Say goodbye
Yeah.
to the world you thought you lived in.
Yeah. It's always changing. Over here? Yeah, Rosemary.
I think this is also related to the question of AI, nuclear power, et cetera. Whether we can live without fossil fuels depends on whether we're willing to cooperate to move towards a system that works for us instead of uses us to extract profit. And fossil fuel is, the idea that we are so dependent on fossil fuel is dependent on the idea that people who make money off of fossil fuels are very good at convincing you that you need it. And it's not strictly the case because, I mean, we already know that solar technology has progressed to a point where it's not true anymore that it's more economical to go with fossil fuels, that it's more, I mean, taking away incentives to adopt it more widely is going to make it more expensive, but that's actually to serve the ends of the people who want to keep making money. But so with fossil fuels, with AI, with a lot of a pandemic, I think the thing that makes a difference is cooperation, the decision to educate ourselves, because especially at this point, the powers that be are not interested in educating us, and helping each other move towards the goal that aligns with our values as opposed to allowing other people to set our agendas for us.
Yeah. Yeah, good. I invite you to take a crayon and color the one you think is the most eminent. Which of those four? AI, pandemic, nuclear, climate? We're going to have one more talk, and then I've got some closing words, because I don't want you to leave here more stressed. I think there's some hope here. Here we go.
Well, now, you're reading my mind, the perfect segue. I feel like, as your kind of communal therapist, that we need some sort of you're bringing us all these vexatious subjects that we have to think about and worry about, that the art is to do something about it, but not be consumed with anxiety about it. So a little bit of mindfulness.
Nice, nice. Yep. The problem with each of these four is that you can't fix it. We as a fellowship can't fix it. We as a state can't. We as a country can't. These are worldwide issues, and it's going to take worldwide solutions. And that's why it's so stinking scary and impossible. Under today's environment, it's impossible. So I'm going to give you 4 words that should quell your existential fear. It's not going to fix any one of these 4, but it's going to help you find some equanimity in the midst of it, right? 4 words, and it's one of our values. It's one of our values right up here. The interconnectedness, the interdependence of life. The interdependence of life. 4 words. These are key here. Our fear and anxiety comes from the myth that we, human beings, are somehow separate from life. We quickly forget that we didn't birth ourselves, we don't control our thoughts and feelings, and ultimately, we don't control our deaths. And this is true of everything in the universe. Everything. Who controls the creation of stars or their annihilation? Who controls the bee seeking nectar? Who just happens to pick up pollen in the process? I'll tell you who. the universe. The universe does stars. The universe bees. The universe peoples. We are part of this. It is us. Now, most people would respond, well, that's fine, but we're talking about human actions here. Humans are creating AI, atomic weapons, viruses, and climate change. It's not nature. And from the perspective of a human, this seems to make sense. But from an understanding of the interconnectedness of life, our UU value, we see that ultimately what we do cannot be seen as anything other than what the universe is doing. We are nature. What we do is what nature is doing. We are not separate. Now, everything that we do, everything is what the universe is doing. Climate change is not new to the universe. Neither are pandemics. War, fighting, conquering, devouring is what all of life does. It's just evolution, plain and simple. In evolution, only a small set of the variables actually survive, just a teeny fraction. So will the evolutionary variable called AI succeed or not? What about the evolutionary variable of nuclear weapons? What about the evolutionary variable we call humanity? Once we see ourselves and everything we do as an expression of the universe, then we are free from the anxiety and fear. Okay, you say, that's fine in theory, but I'm going to do everything I can to stop this. Well, that's also a response, an expression of the universe. In nature, when a new virus strain emerges, it's because so many other bacteria and cells have been resisting the original. So it mutates and it changes. That's how evolution works. Fighting and resisting is the work of life, a manifestation of the universe. The universe might be moving you to resist one or all of these potential outcomes. And if so, then resist. What none of us needs to do is be afraid. The universe brought you here. The universe will evolve in exactly the way it must. You are not in control. I know that's hard to... I want to be in control. No, we are not in control. We play an evolutionary part. What's happening here is way bigger than you. Our existential fear is caused by forgetting our UU value, the interconnectedness of life. All right, let's have some announcements. Here they come. Look at that. We are going to have a concert right here in this auditorium on Saturday, May 9th. Ladia. It's a Friday, like I said, Friday. So Mother's Day is May 10, so May 9th has to be. Like I said, it's Saturday, May the 9th. You know, I thought I made a mistake, but I was wrong. Saturday night, 7 to 10, Lady. This is Catherine's band. They were out at Earth Day yesterday, did an amazing job. They're always lots of fun. She's brought several of her other band members with her and had them play for us up here. Always great stuff. So I encourage you to come to that. Next one. Susie. Susie is coming up. Registration is open. How many have ever been to Susie? All right, good number, good number. This is a family camp. It's for kids, it's for seniors, it's for everybody in between. Lots of fun activity. It's held on the campus of Radford University. It's 1 week long, Sunday to Saturday. If you register and you use that little code, you'll never guess where it came from, Brown 2601, that gives me a $50 off of my tuition. And everybody would want that. Yeah, that's fine. Whatever you want to do. And I want to tell you this. they are committed to first-timers. So if you've never been before, don't let money be the problem. Apply for a scholarship. My first year, I got a full scholarship. I had to do some volunteer work, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun. So don't let that be the problem. And you can also talk to me. Maybe we can work something out to help you. So it's going to be fun, and I encourage you to come. All right. Kathy's going to come now and close us out.
Can I make an announcement?
You may.
Thank you. This is Rosemary. I'm in the back. Hi. I have two announcements. One is we're hosting a day of action for the American Empathy Project on May 2nd. If you want to volunteer to help out to do some prep work ahead of time or deliveries, which will all take place after, because we're coordinating deliveries to members of the community affected by ICE activity, please come see me and I'll add you to our list of folks who are available to help. The other announcement is for Stafford residents specifically. There's a data center application being heard on Wednesday, April 22nd at 6 p.m. at 1300 Courthouse Road, Stafford, VA. If you want more information about some of the issues that Protect Stafford has flagged with the data center application, including they're asking to be allowed to put the data center closer to residential homes than is allowed by the regulations, you can come see me and I'll be happy to forward you that information as well.
And I have a quick announcement. So the board met last Thursday, and thank you to people who gave an additional pledge or pledged. We were able to keep David at 3/4 time after looking at the budget. So thank you very much for that.
Did I tell you guys my daughter's having a baby? Please join us standing and saying our closing words. Earth, teach me freedom as the eagle that soars in the sky. Earth, teach me acceptance as the leaves that die each fall. Earth, teach me renewal as the seed that rises in the spring. Earth, teach me to forget myself as melted snow forgets its life. Go in peace.
Thank you. You can help us